Hello my angling friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the fishing forecast for a truly intriguing day. October 9th, 2025, right here in beautiful Ireland. This isn't just any day folks, it's a day that promises a unique blend of challenges and for the adaptable angler, some truly incredible rewards. I'm going to share some insider tips based on the latest data to help you make the absolute most of your time on the water. We'll uncover why this particular day will be special for fishing, from weather quirks to lunar magic, and how it all affects our finned friends. So buckle up, because October 9th is shaping up to be a day where a little extra planning makes all the difference. While the conditions might seem tough at first glance, there are definite opportunities for those who know where to look. First up, let's dive into some tactics for the most active species we expect to see. October 9th looks promising for some key players, especially if you pick your spots wisely. For our toothy freshwater titans, the pike, autumn is prime time for them to be on the hunt. They're in a major feeding frenzy, trying to pack on weight before the real chill of winter sets in. This week, with the possibility of strong winds, you'll want to focus your efforts on the more sheltered, deeper sections of larger loughs like Lough Mask or Lough Corrib, or the quieter stretches of the River Shannon. Why there? Because those strong westerly winds, which we're expecting to be force 4 or 5, potentially reaching force 7 in exposed coastal areas, will stir up the exposed surface layers, pushing baitfish into calmer, deeper waters. And where the baitfish go, the pike will follow. Look for them lurking around drop-offs, along the edges of any remaining weed beds, or near submerged structures and bridge pillars, anywhere that provides an ambush point. For tackle, go bold. Large lures are your best bet. Think big, brightly coloured soft plastics, deep-diving crankbaits that can get down to where the pike are holding, or even a classic deadbait presentation fished on a float rig. Remember, a bigger profile can be irresistible to a hungry pike that's looking for a substantial meal. Next, let's talk about our saltwater superstars, the bassie. Friends, October is historically one of the best months for bigger bass, especially along Ireland's south and southeast coast like the famous Copper Coast, or around areas in Cork, Waterford, Wexford and Kerry. These strong fighters will be actively patrolling, target deeper channels during the low tide where fish might be concentrated, and don't forget shallower, rough ground where baitfish seek cover. Lure fishing will be highly effective. I recommend tried and tested options like black minnows, slender, hard, needlefish-style lures, or even soft plastic worms. If you're into fly fishing, sand eel imitations or wake flies can work wonders, especially at night. Fresh bait, like a good chunk of lugworm or peeler crab, is also incredibly effective. The expected westerly breeze, though potentially strong, could push baitfish closer to shore, turning these areas into feeding hotspots. For those who appreciate the finesse of freshwater angling, let's talk about brown trout. These beauties remain surprisingly active in early October and can be targeted successfully, particularly on larger loughs. Concentrate your efforts on areas where you observe insect activity or where small baitfish are schooling. Traditional wet or dry flies can be very productive, as can small spinners or minnow imitations. And let's not forget our smaller but equally exciting perch. As the salmonid season winds down on most waters, coarse fishing truly comes into its own. Perch, in particular, will be schooling up in deeper areas of lakes and slower stretches of rivers. Look for them along features like underwater humps, submerged trees, or even around bridge pillars where they can ambush smaller prey. For perch, light spinning gear with small soft plastic grubs or micro-jigs can be deadly. Drop-shotting with tiny worms or maggots is another fantastic tactic. The cooling water temperatures gather these fish into larger schools, making them easier to target once you find them. All right, my friends, let's break down the conditions for this week, because understanding the why behind the what is crucial for becoming a truly skilled angler. First, the weather. Ireland in October is known for its changeable nature. For October 9th, 2025, we're looking at daytime air temperatures around 15 degrees Celsius, dropping to a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius at night. The forecast suggests 0 millimeters of precipitation, meaning we might escape the rain, though patchy drizzle and mist are still possible, especially in the north and northwest. The real game changer, my friends, is the wind. We're looking at moderate to fresh westerly winds, strong in the west and northwest. Specifically, expect westerly winds of force 4 or 5, potentially increasing to force 5 or 6, and reaching force 7 at times in exposed coastal areas by the end of the day. Inland, we might see north to northwest winds of force 3 or 4, becoming westerly and reaching force 5. This strong wind will certainly create rough seas and make exposed areas challenging, pushing those baitfish deeper or into sheltered spots. Now about sea water temperature. In early October, the average sea temperature in Irish waters, like around Dublin, hovers around 14 degrees Celsius or 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Inland waters will also be cooling, though likely a degree or two lower. This cooling trend, friends, is a huge trigger for predatory fish to feed aggressively. They know winter is coming and they need to bulk up. So while it feels cooler to us, it means dinner time for many species. And what about the moon phase? On October 9th, 2025, the moon will be in its waning gibbous phase, with about 90% of its surface illuminated. This means we're about 2 days past the full moon, sometimes called the hunter's moon. Popular fishing lore often links the days immediately following a full moon with increased fish activity, sometimes due to increased tidal movement in saltwater and a general boost in feeding behavior from the residual light at night. So, pay attention to those low light periods, as fish might still be actively feeding. Overall fish activity for this time of year in Ireland sees a general shift towards aggressive autumn feeding patterns. Predatory fish like pike and bass are definitely in a feed-up mode, and brown trout also remain active and can offer excellent sport. Perch will be schooling. While the main salmon and sea trout seasons are winding down on many rivers, some specific rivers still permit sea trout fishing until the 12th of October, so check your local regulations. Overall, this is a time of opportunity if you adapt to the conditions. So what's my overall assessment for fishing on October 9th, 2025? I'd give it a challenging but rewarding and rating. While the strong westerly winds will make exposed areas, especially coastal ones, extremely difficult and potentially dangerous, the active waning gibbous moon and the general autumn feeding patterns mean there are definite opportunities in sheltered spots. Predatory fish like pike and bass will be actively feeding. You just need to find where they've moved to escape the wind and take advantage of the cooler, oxygenated water. So, my friends, stay safe out there. Dress warmly, check those local conditions, and remember, a day spent by the water, even in challenging weather, is better than a day at work. May your lines be tight and your nets be full. No tail, no scales. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming fishing adventures. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to lures for pike and bass in autumn in Ireland? And what are your plans for fishing this coming October?